Mr. Malibu, interviewing famous book author Paul Almond at the Malibu Diesel Bookstore. Paul, you just finished your 8th book, right?
Yes, I've taken 12 years, and now I've written all 8 of them, and they're all finished, but the publisher is bringing them out 1 a year or 2 a year.
And I looked at all the massive research you did, and it's really incredible, well-researched, well-written storylines. I think this is, are you going to produce it as a mini-series for one of the television networks?
Well, thank you. Thank you. It is really well-researched. But I gave up after 40 years in the film business and live television back in the 50s and 60s. I've given up film, so I just write, and if some producer wants to make a film of it all, we've already had one option which I turned down, and we've had several inquiries, so I hope one day it will be a television series, or at least a number of individual movies.
And I understand that one of the books achieved a national bestseller in Canada?
Yes, it did indeed, and I think this one is going to do the same. And they all sell extremely well. And when you talk to publishers, they say, oh, there's no market for historical books. Well, that shows how much they know.
And there's Genevieve there. And we're Facebook friends, but
Pascal, a friend of yours too?
oh yeah, for sure. And he's an artist, to the very, very cool conceptual artist.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
indeed. And a poet and a thinker. So I'll let you continue. Yes.
Oh yeah, city politics is just one of my forays. I'm a writer as well, so.
Really?
Yeah.
In 1967, all the studios, the big Hollywood studios, were owned by moguls. They were run by moguls. And a small, well, pretty big, nuts and bolts company came and bought Paramount. And it was run by a little fellow, sort of bald, with guys like a Who Makes Sammy Run type of guy. You know, he was like tough. And he ran Gulf and Western. He built it up. It was a nuts and bolts company. And he bought Paramount. Now, Paramount Pictures, at that time, all the editors, everybody on staff, they were all in a terrible tizzy. What's going to happen? We've been bought. So anyway, he was the dude. So I phoned his secretary and said, you know, I'd like to see Mr. Bluedorn. And she called back. And I was in the hotel room with Genevieve, I'm sure she doesn't remember, and he said, they said, come over at 3 o'clock, Mr. Bluedorn will see you. And I said, Genevieve, listen, we got an appointment with Charlie Bluedorn. We're going to his office. She said, no, we're not. I said, what do you mean? She said, tell him to come here. I said, what?
That's a way to play it.
That's a true story. I said, I'm sorry, you know, we have a lot on here. Tell Mr. Bluedorn you have to come and see us here. And then I thought, oh, shit. Whoa. She phoned back and said, he's coming right over.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
True story. And he came over, we had coffee downstairs in a little coffee shop, and he gave me the money to make Isabel in Chigawak.
Yep. Unreal.
I said to him, Charlie, he said, well, what's all this is about? I said, Charlie, it's a film about Chigawak. Where the hell's Chigawak? I said, Charlie, it's on the Gaspé Coast. The Gaspé Coast? Where the hell's the Gaspé Coast? I said, it's in Quebec. And I think he said, where the hell's Quebec? But anyway, he gave me the money. You didn't know the story
Did
before?
not know.
Yes, listen, even your little son
So
didn't know
that's
it.
macho, and that's cool, and it worked.
I had a friend who had the film rights to make The Fantastics for 10 years, and he was good friends with Charlie Greenhorn's son, and he couldn't even get an appointment with Charlie Greenhorn.
Well, it was a different time also.
Oh, I know, but
A different time, yeah.
still.
That's for him. That's cool. Good. Thank you. That's awesome that you rock, dude. Good for you.
Gotta come support.
And he's a thinker and an artist that I met through Pascal, and he's posted stuff that just got the fan just fired up on Facebook, on email, on Facebook.
Good or bad?
Love that. Love you for that. Yeah.
Right on.
That's awesome.
Paul?
Great.
Yeah.
So of course, since Paramount Pictures had given me the money to make a motion picture, why wouldn't somebody, publish a book on Chigwag? Well, they didn't. Now, so I finished the book, I took it around. Now most people would quit while they're ahead, but because I probably have an overdeveloped dose of foolishness, or perhaps it's because the onset of what do they call it? Young senility or something, because I was only 70 at the time. I sat down and wrote another book, even though they didn't want that book either. So, what did I do? I wrote the third book. And I kept writing, and I wrote the fourth book, which is this book here. I wrote the fifth book. I wrote the sixth book. I wrote the seventh book. Wow. And then Kim MacArthur of MacArthur and Company said, I'll do them all. So then I last summer wrote the eighth book. So I should just briefly tell you, because you see, you're all wonderful people and I love you all, and I don't want you out catching colds or rushing off into, supermarkets and stuff. The way you do your Christmas shopping is here. You got all the books, a personal signed book by an author. What a Christmas present. Isn't that a wonderful one? Very clever.